Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where it's time to take a look at the Adepticon 2025 Warhammer live show preview. Live preview show? That sounds better, doesn't it? We'll go with that. So this is happening in a couple of days on Wednesday in the US, but very early Thursday morning in the UK. And honestly, this is a surprise. Not the show, I knew the show was coming, but what they're actually teasing to be at the show. But first up, they're doing these live. Normally they're pre-recorded, so that in itself surprised me. But the game reveals are just... well, they're not odd. I suppose they're expected. What's odd is there's some glaring misses. But let's quickly run through this. I'm not going to watch the video, but this article is linked in the description below. Like always, if you want to check it out, and you can watch the video there. But let's have a quick look. So Adepticon is one of the biggest events in the Warhammer calendar. It's one of the biggest events in pretty much every hobby company's calendar. There's big tournaments for all kinds of games, not just Warhammer. It's a big deal. It's host to some of the largest Warhammer tournaments in the world. It's a great place for fans of all things Warhammer to get together, play games and hang out. One day, one year, hopefully in the not too far future, I would love to go. It's a bit of a trek from the UK and it would be expensive, but it would be amazing, I think. Absolutely amazing. But this year it takes place at the Baird Centre in Milwaukee, and as I say, it runs Wednesday to Sunday, so basically until the end of March. And they always have exciting things to share. They always say exciting things, but that's not always the case. I will say, before we get into what's going to be here, the past shows, the 2 or 3 that it's been Nick and Alex, just the 2 of them talking about stuff and actually showing the miniatures, have been really, really fun, cool shows, and I've enjoyed them, which is rare, because the previous live shows I have not enjoyed. They've always been a bit meh, not for the reveals, but just how they're delivered. I really hope that they're keeping to that structure. I think this will be different because it is going to be done live. I don't know what this is going to look like, but hopefully it will be a good one. But here's what we've got. 40k, I expected. There's a load of demon stuff to be coming out for all of the Chaos factions. Well, not demons, I suppose demons are being made redundant now, but there's Death Guard, Thousand Suns and World Eaters. Plus, we probably need to know when Knights and Chaos Knights are coming out, and then there's other factions still waiting in the wings. The codexes, new releases. Hopefully we're going to see some good stuff. I really want to see a wave 2 of the World Eaters because they are a very small range at the minute, and I think now would be a great time to start to expand them out a little bit. Age of Sigmar, that's expected. We are still waiting for the pre-order of the last Age of Sigmar box that was revealed months ago, it feels. But Age of Sigmar is going to be there. Probably Ideneth Deepkin. Maybe teasing into potentially something like Chaos Dwarfs if they want to do a little sting somewhere and just really get people hyped up for something in the little bit further ahead. But we're definitely going to be getting a look at Ideneth Deepkin, which I think was the next battle tome. And there's going to be a couple more. Hopefully we get an updated roadmap. I don't really know. We need a little bit more idea of what's coming in general from the company. Old World, we're fairly set that it's going to be the big Beastman box, the army box, and then moving into maybe a little tease of a character or a couple of models for the Wood Elves that are coming out after the Beastmen. So that's not too surprising. I was expecting that to be here. Kill Team. Kill Team Blood and Zeal has just gone up for pre-order last weekend. It was revealed about 3 weeks ago, so hot off the heels, probably the quickest revealed pre-order for a while. But they're teasing the next Kill Team box, which I think this terrain piece, or I mean it has to be NIDS, I think that might be Kill Team. That feels like, and I think obviously we have no idea of scale. It could be huge, it could be medium, it could be tiny, but it just feels Kill Teamy. They don't like to release Warhammer 40k terrain. Certainly in army boxes and things they don't do it. I don't know why. They just have this aversion to putting out proper terrain for Warhammer these days. It all seems to come through Kill Team, and then it's really hard to get hold of if you don't buy the initial box. But this points to NIDS. NIDS, underground, Volcus has warrens of underground machines and tunnels and all the gun functioning for the massive ballista, whatever it's called. That's all underground. This parts of the city is underground. And we started with Scions, it was Scions, wasn't it? Scions and Vespid dropping in. Then we had Ratlings and Orcs fighting on the surface. Blood and Zeal is talking about you know, a procession of the armor going through the surface and further down into the hive cities with the missionaries taking the fight to the cults actually where they're living. So every kill team box has got us slightly lower and slightly lower and slightly lower on Volcus as a whole. What if the new box is some sort of burrowing Nid team popping out of God knows where, a gene stealer infestation? It could be anything, but it's combating something at the very heart of the last box of the Volcus season that we don't know. But that just fits with my brain. And what better way to release upgraded Catachans? Because who else is going to fight the Nids, right? Catachans v Nids is like it's a wet dream. It's alien predator fantasies all rolled into one. It would be amazing, absolutely amazing. And we already have. Do we have the predators? Are the striking scorpions the predator style Aldari? Is that what they do? So we already have the predator. We just need a xenomorph kill team, which would be in the form of Nids. And Nids don't really have a proper bespoke team. They've never had a bespoke team, and we haven't had a human team for all of 5 minutes. So we need more human teams. Catachans, and it would be a tease just like the Krieg were in the starter box of the last season 3 years ago. What if this season we got Catachans, and then for 11th the big Imperial Guard upgrade was going to be a whole rework and expanded range for the Catachan fighters. It all starts to line up. If you put the threads and the pins in the right place, you can start to see the conspiracy theory making sense. I don't know what it's going to be. I see 40k terrain, I assume it's a kill team reveal, and normally on these teases it's a pet or a little robot or some sort of miniature for whatever skirmish game is being shown off. All of this is cool. I love AOS, as you know. I love kill team. Really, really looking forward to getting my hands on the Goremongers and pillaging through the hives in Khorne's name. It's going to be amazing. 40k, I'm always interested to see what's coming. Maybe there'll be something that pulls me back in with a bit more interest, maybe an army that I really fancy playing. But at the minute, I'm kind of lukewarm on 40k as a bigger game system. Old World, it's just nice to have that nostalgia here. I don't want to get into it. I'm probably not going to do much with it, but I'd like to see the Wood Elves. I know, I'm weird. I don't like elves, but I like Wood Elves. But this is good. This is shaping up to be some pretty cool reveals, and we have a little bit of an idea of what's coming, but we don't really know. But what's missing? Where is Horus Heresy? Long rumoured to be getting either a 2.5 update or a 3.0 refresh, depending on which rumours you read. We think that Heresy is at least getting some sort of new big box with a rulebook and like a brand new starter set. The Age of Darkness box, which still to this day is available, is in stock. It's great value if you want to get into Horus Heresy. It has amazing new Space Marine plastic models and tanks and really, really cool things. But that's 3 years old, and in Games Workshop's financial planning, that's ancient. They need to put a new box out right now. And there's been big rumours of Iron Warriors and Salamanders on a box art style new Heresy Istvan 4, 5, whichever it is. 3, 4, 5, one of them. There's been rumours of that being the big setup for what they're doing with Heresy next. Not necessarily rules changes and things. I don't think it needs rules changes. Maybe just a bit more of a concise clarification-y thing, putting all the FAQs into a new rulebook. Like they did with the Necromunda rulebook last year before, where they just updated it slightly, added some new bits, but they didn't fundamentally change how the game works. Not quite a Middle-earth strategy battle game update that we got last year. More like they did with Kill Team, actually. Kill Team got a few tweaks, a few changes. A couple of rules were brought in line with each other and the wording was changed to reflect different things doing the same thing and slightly simpler. That's what I think Heresy is going to be. But they're not telling us that they're going to show. I'm not saying that there's not going to be any Heresy in there, because what a great way to end the show than brand new Horus Heresy CGI trailer. You remember the one last time of Horus walking through the battle with knights and space marines and tanks and all this kind of stuff blowing up around him? What if it's a teaser trailer of the Dropsite Massacre? Or what if it's Horus touring a battlefield in the Sol system and you can see Earth in the distance, and you know, you could do all these kind of cool things that people with the knowledge of the lore of Horus Heresy would just geek out on. Me, I just want to see something cool. The other glaring miss, which for most people I think they've either forgotten about or are just not interested in, is Warcry. Age of Sigmar got a whole new release, a brand new edition, reworked, new Skaven range, loads of new models coming in. Where's Warcry? We've heard nothing. They did say back end, I think it was December time, the Warcry team really want to focus on bringing all of the new units in Age of Sigmar into Warcry as usable operatives, so you can use any models in the Sigmar range and just have something cool and fun and thematic with a solid rule set. None of the new stuff has got rules. None of the 4th edition miniatures has got rules for sure. The last drop I think was a few Stormcast and Dark Oath. So what's going on there? Surely they're quiet because they're working on a new edition, and this would have been a great place to show off the new edition. And with AOS doing really well, and good numbers, good sales, things are looking up with the new edition, people are seemingly enjoying it. Wouldn't now be a great time to release Warcry? Would it be 3.0? I think the last one was 2, so maybe 3.0 or 4.0 or whatever this new edition would be. Tweak the rules slightly, because I think the rule set was pretty good. Have the roster building as open and flexible as it currently is to make it different from Kill Team. Have the new setting as a ruined city on the outskirts of where the Skaven Tide eruption happened, and you're in a ruined city with whatever warbands you want, fighting whatever warbands, but there's going to be rats in there, right? And you're fighting over warpstone. You're fighting to get out of a city, to get into a city, to pillage, to find treasure, to bring more skulls to the Skull Throne and appease the Blood God. There's so much that you could do in a ruined city setting like that. I'm pretty sure a game was like that previously. Wasn't there something in a ruined fantasy city with Skaven and witch hunters and vampires and... well, maybe not. It sounds like a cool idea to me though. But there's probably not going to be any Warcry here. It might get a mention, it might get a little tease, but there's not a big reveal. Who knows? I genuinely don't know what's happening with Warcry or Heresy. Heresy is big enough to get a reveal show all of its own, I think. Warcry really isn't. Warcry is one of the more niche games that they make, I think. The other thing where there isn't anything is Necromunda, and we know, well I think it was teased that there would be new campaign books coming, but honestly I wasn't expecting any Necromunda right now, because we've just had the Ashwaste Nomads get their new gang book and new models. So I think Necromunda is probably going to be a little bit into summer. Heresy, probably July will be the big Heresy month where they do the new box, which I genuinely do think is coming. There's got to be something, even if it's just a new starter set and there's no other changes. There's so many miniatures that are still missing from there. They could mine Heresy for another 10, 15, 20 years if they wanted to. Warcry is the one that I feel like it's forgotten. Let me know in the comments what you think. I also want to know what you'd like to see, because I can't really speak for 40k outside of other Chaos Space Marine factions. We know Demons just got an index, they're not really doing much else. Old World we have an idea, but everything else is kind of up in the air. What do you think the Kill Team reveal is? What would you like to see for Age of Sigmar? And do you think we'll get a World Eaters Wave 2? The Goremongers are coming, they're World Eaters, so it would fit in with a release in April for World Eaters. Who knows? Anything can happen. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.